Hello YouTubers, this is the Scribe and thanks for watching this YouTube video. Just let me have a slurp of black wine or whatever it is. I don't know why I hold it like this. You're supposed to hold it with a handle, but whatever. So, I'd like to have a discussion with you guys about a TV program that was on many years ago, and it had a cult following. Millions of people were watching it, and they were disappointed when it ended because there's so many loose ends. It was an exciting TV show, and it didn't finish basically. And actually, it was never resolved except for a book that was written by some New York Times journalist or something like that. And he wasn't actually part of the production team in the first place. He was just trying to tie up loose ends about what he thinks would have happened. However, the program was called Dark Angel. It had Jessica Alba in it, and another guy from Supernatural actually. He became quite well known in the Supernatural TV series, which I think he should have probably ended years ago because then he could have gone into TV, to film or something. But with this Dark Angel series that ended in after the second season, a lot of loose ends weren't tied up. Nobody knew what the cult was about, although later James Cameron did mention Egypt. And he did mention that the cult had big plans for humanity, and basically it wanted to kill a lot of people. And it wanted to kill a lot of people with the weapons they had. So what were they up to? Why were they breeding things? You see, they had a breeding program which had these kind of wacky ideas. I mean, if you have a look at Egypt, you can see that people have been had the heads of dogs and cats and lions, and the wings of birds on their backs. They were advanced humans, so to speak. And then he talked about the manticore, which is another interesting thing. Right, we'll get to that in just a second. The manticore is not what you think. It's not the prison or the barracks that Max and the rest of them escape from. A manticore is a mythological being. it's actually a legend in some cultures. And the manticore has got like the body of a lion, the wings of a bat, the tail of a scorpion, the eyes of an eagle, and in some other cultures it's also got like antlers as well, where it can actually ram you with those. So it's got all the best features of other animals combined into a super animal that could kill anything. And in ancient cultures they used to say that when people disappeared, they could have been killed from a manticore because there was no trace of them. And once a manticore has locked onto you, there's nothing you can do. It just kills you. And this is where I'm going with this. That Sandman who created Manticore was actually a good guy. And if you remember that Max actually escaped Manticore, and her other brothers and sisters, so to speak. I mean, sort of say that loosely, but they all escaped to escape the cruelty and the fact that they didn't want to be part of this military training program, which was basically they had genetically engineered people from birth, well, actually people in utero, and altered their DNA, made it stronger, combined animal DNA with humans, and even altered the DNA in a way where they reprogrammed it so it would make people very, very strong. So basically, these people could run at 50 miles per hour or something like that. They could jump off high-rise buildings and jump very high, and fight very well, and had the strength of, several men, right? So what James Cameron said is that one of the children have the strength of somebody who's around about 300 pounds, which is very, very strong. Okay, when they escaped this institution, that was training from birth to fight in military battles because they didn't want to lose thousands of people and they wanted to do it discreetly and easily. Um, they later found out that there was a guy called Sandman who had created Manticore and obviously tricked the government into allowing this program to go ahead. And his ultimate goal was to protect humanity against the coming. And he had left a load of evidence behind about what was actually coming, and it was in the symbol of Manticore. Manticore is a mythological being. It has all the elements of the strongest animals combined into one, and I believe that that's where this was heading. The cult had built up a very, very strong guard dog, so to speak, that would attack humanity later on. So David Cameron said, or was it James Cameron? Yeah, James Cameron. He said that, Lydecker was looking at Egypt, and he was looking at these pictures of, baby deformed children's skeletons and stuff like that, where they kept on trying to reproduce and see what would happen if they kept on reproducing, messed up DNA together until they produced something that would actually stick. And they've been doing this for thousands upon thousands of years. And then he said, later on they went down to Egypt and made a discovery about what's going on there, because the Manticore is loosely based off, get this, the Sphinx. So the Sphinx at the Egypt is a lion. Okay, that's the guardian of Egypt, basically. And of course, when you combine all the best elements of animals together, you make a Manticore. So that was the early stages of it. They were looking at, combining a man with a dog, which you can see in Egypt. That would be Joshua, right? They're combining, a man with a lizard. That would be another character within Manticore. And basically Sandman was trying to create something that would actually help fight this cult, because it was very, very dangerous. And he had said that the weak won't help the earth and the strong, won't take everything, basically. So where I think this would have gone is at the end of the TV series, Lydecker would have returned and gave a warning about what was coming on, which was the coming. The Manticores were coming, basically. They were going to release these Manticores on humanity, and there were thousands of them, maybe millions of them, and it would have just ripped through humanity very quickly. And the reason why they said that the X5s and X6s and X7s and stuff like that were the only hope is because they are the only ones who are strong enough to fight them. Humans are not strong enough to fight tigers and lions. We just can't do it, even with the guns. And that's another thing to mention. The cult had been testing themselves with venom, right? Poison. And what does the Manticore release with its tail? Poison. So what it was doing is, it has so many different weapons that the cult was trying to make sure that they were defended against its most lethal weapon, because obviously they could run fast enough and try to evade, but the poison that these Manticores that could release, because there'll be millions of them to attack humans, was so deadly that it would kill most people, but it wouldn't kill them. So they had a belief that it would have wiped out most of humanity. So yeah, I mean, that's more or less where I believe this program was sort of heading. I mean, it's not an in-depth discussion about this TV program, because nobody knows for sure exactly how it would have all gone down. But the fact of the matter is, they were looking at genetic coding all the way back in Egypt, and the very thing that you see in Egypt on the hieroglyphics, you can also see in the things that Sandman had created in Manticore. And Lydecker was exploring what was going on with these strange creatures that they were trying to combine together. and of course they tried to kill him. They didn't actually kill him, by the way. He escaped, and then he definitely went to Egypt. So that's what James Cameron actually said. So yeah, what do you guys think? How do you think it would have gone down in the end? Thank you for watching. Goodbye for now. See you.